we're going to start in a seated position, either one shin in front of the other, or if it's easier, you can sit in kneeling on your heels. Either way, you just want to make sure that you're sitting upright to a point where your ribs can be flush with your hips. And we'll just place our hands anywhere they're comfortable, either on your legs, palms face up or down. You can close your eyes if you want. And just start to connect with your breath and the sensations in your body. It's going to be really important to notice if there's already any sensations of pinching or discomfort in the abdomen. So you might find that even just in a neutral spine, there is a sensation on the side where you know that there's some trauma. And we're just going to take some deep inhales through the nose and slowly let that breath out. If breathing deeply causes any pain, you can always take this breath just in your chest. Might help to place a hand on your chest and take a breath in just to that hand. Slow exhale. Just keep connecting with the breath and the sensations that are naturally present in your body. At any point, you can change the position of your legs or your arms to something that you can sit in for a few minutes. And if there's anything you need to place under your hips, you can do that as well, just to lift the hips a little higher than the knees, like a folded up blanket. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath through the nose, out the mouth. Sealing the lips, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then starting to tip that chin down towards the chest, keeping the ribs in line with the hips. Start to activate the core all the way up the spine. So the front core, back core, taking a breath in. I'm going to let Kira in while you do that. And exhale, feeling your roots right into the ground beneath you. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. And exhaling, just dropping the chin down. And then we'll start to make little circles, starting on one shoulder, lifting up. And exhaling, draw the tip of your chin down. Just taking 2 more in this direction, painting those circles up, around and down. 1 more, inhaling, exhaling, just feeling the sensations in the neck muscles, switching directions, turning your chin to the opposite shoulder, up and around on the exhale. Inhaling for the top of the circle. Exhaling for the bottom. We'll take 1 more. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, drop. And then the chin is going to point down towards the chest. Hands are going to come up behind the head and just gently place some pressure on the back of the head with the tips of the fingers. You're going to create a little bit of an isometric hold. So as you push your hands into your head, you're pushing your head into your hands. And that's going to extend and activate the neck muscles. On the inhale, push the head into the hands, open the elbows up wide. And on the exhale, just draw the tips of the elbows towards each other. And you're going to start to roll forward just in the upper back. So we're going to try to keep this bend out of the thoracic spine. Just focus more on the space between the shoulder blades. Pretend there's a magnet between the elbows and try to squeeze them together. And on the inhale, we're just going to open the chest, lift the elbows out wide. Exhale, roll just the top half forward, try to connect the elbows. On the inhale, open up. So really just massaging out the muscles between the shoulder blades. Exhale, roll it down, try to connect the elbows. And on your inhale, sitting up tall, lift your arms up overhead like you have a ball or a block between the palms, and just start to spread out the fingers. Your chin can be tucked in if that's easier, or you can look straight up. Taking a breath in here. We want to start to feel that the shoulders are getting a little shaky. Maybe the hands are tingling a little bit. And then on the exhale, make a big old X in front of you, elbow on top of elbow. I'm starting with my right elbow on top of my left, and then pointing the fingers up. And we're going to make little baby circles, about 10 of them in one direction. Really just focusing on massaging out the shoulders, closing down the chest. And this whole time, you're activating your core just to sit upright. And then once you've reached that 9th or 10th circle, you're going to pause and switch directions. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Keeping these breaths a little more shallow than our traditional yoga practice, just to make sure you're not flaring out the ribs too much. And then we're going to open those arms up wide, a little more of a V shape. And on the exhale, palms down, float the fingertips down to the floor. Take a big shoulder shrug and drop them back. Twice more, inhale, exhale. Fingertips might float up off the ground as you shrug, and then pause. On the inhale, we're going to lift those arms back up, crossing your left elbow over your right, or just switching what you did last. Fingertips point up. You can squeeze the hands together if it reaches, or backs the hands together. And then start making those little circles in one direction. You can kind of get lost in this little rotation as long as you are breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of any tension between those shoulder blades. And then once you've figured out where your count is, you can switch the direction, taking roughly 10 circles the other way. Focus on dropping those shoulders down from the ears. The arms should definitely be feeling a little tired by now. And then we're going to release those arms up into that V shape again. Inhale. And exhale, float the palms down, and then turn the shoulders the opposite way. So we're shrugging and lifting, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Big circles, 3 of those, and then exhale. We're going to come up onto all fours, flat back, tabletop, and just start by kind of rocking side to side, palm to palm, letting each hand peel up off the floor a few times. And then one at a time, we're going to flip the palms back. So you're reaching the edge of your wrist towards the floor. If this is far away, if you have really, really tight forearms, you might keep a bend in the forearm and let your palm peel up and just stretch those fingers out as much as it's possible. I do this one a lot, and I have hyperextended elbows, so I find that it's easy to get my whole hand on the ground, but do what feels best for you. And then about 3 rounds of breath on that side. Focusing on any movement in the belly or the chest as you're breathing. And then we'll switch sides. Same thing, you're reaching the palm towards the mat and maybe doing a little rocking back and forth as you breathe, but don't go beyond, don't go into the point of pain. Just feel the sensation as you're stretching those fingers. And then we'll flip that palm forward again, and walking the hands forward about a foot or so, start to reach the chest down. Usually I would say really dip your chest down towards the floor. I'm going to say keep this in more of a down dog shape. So you're pressing into the palms, armpits are hugging down and around. So really armpits kind of suck up and in. It's the shoulder blades that I'd like for you to wrap around and down. And then just dropping your head as much as it's comfortable. Take a breath. Use your core strength here to stay in this shape. Keep hugging those lower ribs in. So you should feel a little bit of a hollowing out sensation in the spine. And then slowly walk those hands back up right under the shoulders. Stretching out your right leg. We're going to plant the toes on the floor and a little bit of forward and back. So you're stretching out the calf, still massaging out those wrists. Tiny, tiny bit of core involved. And then we're going to lift that heel up so it's level with the glute. Inhale there. And on the exhale, just planting those toes right over on the other side of the bent knee. So that bent knee leg is planted and you're just reaching a little bit longer through the right side. Try not to compress the left side. Taking a breath here and out. Breathing in. And softening anywhere you can, maybe in the neck or the shoulders. Then we'll plant that right foot back, drop the knee. Same thing as before, walk your hands forward a bit, stretch out through the arms. Drop your head any amount, trying to keep the ribs in line with the hips. So usually the challenge in this pose is stretching your chest down towards the floor. Today we're practicing more keeping our chin, chest, and hips in one line. Breathing in and out. Picturing this like a baby down dog. So you got your table legs and your down dog back. You're going to walk it right back up, hands under the shoulders. Left toes are going to press down on the mat, stretch that leg out, start rocking back and forth so you feel that sensation come into the calf. Your quad is turned on. Just rocking a few times here. This rocking motion is really good for the nervous system too. Think about rocking a baby to sleep. And then heel will lift up, level with the hip, take a breath in. On the exhale, stretch that out over the right side of the mat or right bent leg. And we're just gonna stay here. So we're not gonna turn our head to look at the foot. We're just gonna trust that it's back there, feeling that gentle stretch through the left side of the body, left obliques. If you want a tiny bit more, you can start to walk the left hand forward. But I'm gonna say for today, let's just focus on stretching out the side in more of a passive way. Taking a breath in and out, deep sigh. Left knee comes back down to the floor and we're going to find our way into our first down dog, lifting the hips, dropping the head. Always welcome to pedal out the legs, alternating knee bends. As long as we're keeping those ribs in line with the hips, in line with the shoulders, all good here. And then we're gonna bend both knees a little wide. So you're aiming your hips down towards your heels, use those quads, and then propel your shoulders forward over the wrists. So you've got your high plank. We're gonna do that a couple more times. So send the hips high, bend into the knees go a little wide, and then propel yourself forward, shoulders over wrists. One more time, hips high, bend into the knees, nice flat back, and hips come down, level with the shoulders, maybe a little lower. And then we're gonna drop down to our knees, walk our hands back, get off those wrists for a second, you can shake them out. And then right foot is gonna step forward. So if you need to place your hand on something to get it there, we're just gonna get that right knee forward. And then check in again with that mid body, make sure everything's in a nice straight line all the way up. We're gonna start bending into that front knee, sending the knee over beyond the plane of your ankle, and your left hip will be lower than your right knee. So stretching into that hip flexor on the left side, keeping the spine relatively flat. And if you want a little extra, you can lift the arms up, taking a breath in And on the breath out, maybe work those arms down behind you. So now you're reaching the chest forward. But again, think about only the thoracic. We're not going to bend at the middle point of the back. We're lifting the shoulder blades and then dropping the shoulders down. And then one big sweep, we're going to lift the arms up, straighten out your right leg. You can peel the toes high and then slowly start to reach down for the leg. I'm going to stay pretty lifted in this one. My hammies are pretty tight today. So inhale. Fingers can stay on the leg or on the mat, just breathing into the chest. Again, not much of a forward fold. We're not collapsing into it. We're trying to keep that nice straight line through the whole spine. Shoulder blades can come down. And then we'll slowly come on up and step your right leg back. Same thing, other side, step your left foot forward, slowly bring those hips forward. Check in with your back so you're not collapsing. You're staying nice and strong through the whole spine. Chest lifts, shoulders drop. On the inhale, you're welcome to lift the arms up. You might want to keep the chin tucked in for today. When we lift our chin, it kind of signals everything to move back in space, but if you keep the crown of your head lifting, that will help keep your spine in more of a neutral spot. And then same thing as before, if you want, you can drop the hands down behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades like there's a pencil there. You're just trying to hold it. Really good opening in the chest. And then straighten out that left leg, peel the toes up, reaching any amount for the floor or for the leg. Taking a few breaths in each position. Coming up to the top, stepping your leg back, and we're just going to close this off by lying down on your back. You can face either direction. Heels are going to come up towards the glutes. And just take a moment to settle in on your back. You can place a hand on the belly, hand on the chest. Some nice deep mindful breaths here. We'll take one last pose before you settle in. You're going to put some effort into the heels, lift the hips up, squeeze an invisible ball between those legs. Similar thing, rather than trying to get your hips up towards your chest, think about your hips going up straight towards the ceiling and a little bit back towards the knees. This will keep a lot of that effort out of the middle of the back and more into the glutes. Taking a breath in and out. One more big inhale, feel that gentle rise in the hips. Slowly lower down. Picking your favorite position, you can put soles of the feet together. Knees drop out wide, or you could have knees together, feet tented out wide, whatever feels best. And you're going to take 5 deep inhales and exhales right here. Again, checking in with your body, with your breathing. Have the sensations moved? Have they intensified? Are they less? Are they more? Just noticing how you supported your body in each shape and how you practiced mindfulness in an effort to keep your body safe. One final deep inhale. Try to get that breath all the way in through the nose and a deep sigh out, the mouth cleared out. Slowly guide those knees together if they're apart. And you're going to want to turn onto one side, gently pushing yourself up. And that's it. Namaste.